guys? Welcome back to the Speed Syndicate USA YouTube channel. As you can see behind me, we've got the new garage doors up. This one over here is replacing the one that broke, and that one over there is replacing what used to be a man door and a window. So having two doors, two garage doors, is going to greatly improve the function of this building as a garage. You know, we're no longer going to have to pull everything in from this side and snake it around over here and, you know, use dollies to spin cars around to get everything in here and all that jazz. But what we're going to lose is a lot of wall space over there. Let me go show you what we got going on. All right, so here is the door where the man door and window used to be. So first thing you notice is that light switch is just kind of stuck up there out of the way for now. That light switch controls these two lights and those two fans. So I need to drop that deal down and install it here on what's left of the wall, so that we can, you know, have a light switch that is in reach instead of all the way up there. And also this wall is where that pegboard was and needs to go back, but it's going to have to be trimmed as it will no longer fit there because this door is farther over than where the end of the pegboard sits. So pegboard will go back up, all that junk, well, all that junk and all that junk will go back up onto the pegboard. But that's not where the project stops. That stuff will go on those shelves where the stuff that goes on the pegboard currently is. All these grills and roll pans and stuff over here were decoration that will find a new home on one of these walls somewhere. The Dale flag definitely has to go back up. I'm thinking right there would be a good spot for the Dale flag. Let's see, what else do we have left to do? Oh yeah, all these old trailer tires and wheels are going to go bye-bye. Those need to find a new home that is not anywhere near here. That engine stand also, I think, probably needs to go bye-bye because I just don't have enough space. As you can see, I've got a 5-gallon bucket here with about 10 pounds of shit in it. So, wait. 5-gallon bucket, 10 gallons of shit. Or is it a 5-pound bag and 10 pounds of shit? Will 10 pounds of shit fit in a 5-gallon bucket? I don't know. Anyway, I got way too much stuff to fit in this garage. So, we got to get rid of some stuff. All that crap over there needs to be put back into a place. That needs to go to the scrap yard. Let's see, that grill probably needs to go away. Some of these chairs, like probably that one and that one and that one, need to go away. I don't really like just having all this crap stacked right here. So I'd like to be able to clear out a spot to put that stuff. Yeah, we got way too much going on in here. Speaking of things going on in here, tonight's project, an oil change on this rig, and also tire rotation, which is going to be fun considering our space limitations here. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Let's see. Yeah, so oil change and tire rotation on this guy, and depending on how froggy I'm feeling, we might do a little bit more organization in here and make a throwaway pile and a scrapyard pile and, you know, stuff like that. Just try to free up some space. I really think getting a lot of this stuff back up on the walls is going to help a lot. But, you know, wall space is pretty limited around here as well. But anyway, let's get started on doing something. What have I done with my coffee? I'm already losing shit. Been out here 3 minutes. Whenever I'm doing an oil change, I always set the fill plug over the hood latch. That way, I can't forget to put oil in it because I can't shut the hood until I put the fill cap back on. And I'm not going to put the fill cap back on without filling it. Just something, you know, little mind trick for me. Maybe you'll find it useful. I also always leave the dipstick pulled out until I have verified that there's oil in there. You know, sometimes we get in a hurry when we're working on stuff, or we get distracted. You know, we get pulled off of this and we do something else and we come back to it an hour later or whatever, and you forget where you were. These are just some good visual cues for me to know where I'm at in this process. If your garage is anything like mine, one thing you want to do before you slide under here on your creeper is check said creeper for spiders, you know, whatever kind of critters may be scurrying about in here. Oh, there's one. Get out there. That son of a bitch been eating good. Webbage there. Ah! Let's go underneath here, see what we can find. Do not over tighten your drain plug, boys. You will strip it out. See if we can't crack our filter loose here. Alright guys, you'll notice what I have here is a Wix filter. I think that Wix filters are the best. That's what I prefer to run. But unfortunately I wasn't able to get my hands on one today. So I got the next best thing, which is an AC Delco filter. And that's just my personal preference. But I would suggest if you're going to change your oil, don't buy a cheap filter. I've seen them collapse, you know, which results in low or no oil pressure, which is obviously not a good thing for your engine. If you've ever seen oil filter comparisons where they cut a couple of them open, some of them have little to no filtration in them. You know, they're just kind of the bare minimum. Spend the extra couple bucks and buy yourself a good filter. It's worth it. So, while that's draining, let's go ahead and get started on our tire rotation. Dear GM, I hate these little plastic things that you use to thread onto the lugs and keep the center cap in place. Sincerely, everyone. They strip out, the center caps fall off, it looks like crap, and it's junk. Don't use an impact. You're supposed to take them off by hand. Yeah, well, now, if I was flat rate, I wouldn't have time to be doing stuff by hand. Now, would I? Make something better. You guys think this store brand impact here will take those lugs loose? Because I don't. Holy shit. Listen, Master Force, the Menards store brand. Guys, they're making a believer out of me. How's our brakes looking? Looking good. Let's pop the backing off. Look, guys, in the trailer tire videos, I got eaten alive in the comments about a star pattern, right? I know. And I did use a star pattern. But I edited some of that out because I didn't think you guys wanted to watch me tighten lugs. Apparently I was wrong. So this is going to be unedited star pattern action. Check it out. Now, I do go away from the star pattern at this point because they're all run down. I'm just, giving each one of them a little ugga-dugga. And at this point, I don't really think the star pattern matters. If I'm wrong, tell me about it. Leave a comment. Hashtag torqued. Guys, I just thought of a funny story. So I spent a couple of my early years working as a service tech at a Hyundai dealer, and we were getting set up to be like an all makes, all model quick lube place as well, kind of as an aside from the dealer. And I think it was Valvoline maybe that we were getting set up to do that through, like using their oils and their branding and blah, 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 whatever. Well, they came in and they had to train us because, dealer techs don't know how to change oil, I guess. But anyway, we did the train, and it was like a chain of dealerships, right? There was Hyundai, Nissan, Volkswagen, Mazda, Chevrolet, all of them. We did the training at the Mazda shop, and I remember I had a car up on the lift, and I was doing a tire rotation on it, and one of the wheels was seized onto the hub. It wouldn't come off. So, I left one lug on it loosely and got behind it and smacked it with a hammer to bust it loose. And the service manager was standing there when I did that, and I guess he didn't realize that I still had a lug on the wheel when I smacked it with that hammer. And man, he about lost his mind thinking I was going to knock the wheel off of this thing, onto the floor in front of these Valvoline guys. It was just a funny moment. Now, I know all you NASCAR pit crew scouts are going to see this video and come running to my door. Just know, I ain't cheap, all right? Tire rotation complete. Let's go back up front, stick our new filter on, stick the drain plug back in it, and drop this thing back down on all fours. Man, y'all ain't gonna believe this. I went into the local parts house today and I got out of there for under 200 bucks. Amazing, right? Considering that all I went in there to buy was oil and a filter, I can't believe I spent as much as I did, but yeah, I can. Got rear wiper blade for the wife's car, a couple cans of glass cleaner, a couple headlight restore kits. Gotta have those. Ooh. Richard Petty approved. Alright, fellas. When you're changing oil, not only do you want to buy a good filter, but there's a couple other things you want to do as well. Number one, make sure that when you took the old filter off, the gasket came with it. If it didn't, just peel it off with your fingers. We're good here. Mine came off. And if you don't know, that gasket right there is what I'm talking about. If the old one doesn't come off and you put your new filter on there, now you've got two gaskets and it will leak. As soon as you start the engine and it builds pressure, it'll blow oil everywhere, make a huge mess, and then you got to do everything all over again. Now, how do you prevent it from sticking on there? Well, let me show you. You got your drain pan sitting here with your old oil in it. You take a little bit on your finger and you just rub it around that gasket right there. What that does is it lubes that gasket and makes sure that it doesn't go on dry. That'll prevent it from sticking. The other thing you want to do is, if possible, because it's not possible on all cars, but if it is possible, fill your filter before you put it on. And when I say it's not possible on all cars, what I mean is that some engines you'll see the filter is, it goes on like this, so if you were to fill it up, it's all just going to run out while you're trying to screw it on. This one, however, has got a pretty good design on it. The filter goes straight up and down, so you can fill it full and screw it on carefully, and you won't make a huge mess. When you put your new filter on, you do not have to strong arm this thing. I promise you, just spin it up hand tight and that's fine. Good to go. Stick our drain plug back in. Some drain plugs are magnetic. If yours is, take a look at it and make sure you don't have any big chunks of anything stuck to it, because if you do, that's bad news bears. Now treat your drain plug like you did your filter and don't over tighten it, because you will strip out the oil pan, and again, that's bad news bears. That is plenty tight, boys and girls. Now something else that I like to do at this stage of the game is to get myself a can of brake cleaner and just spray it off down here. You might have got a couple drips on stuff while you were changing oil, or you might have a slight leak, and this is just a good time to clean everything off and, avoid those ugly drips on your driveway. Try not to huff too much of this shit though. Ugh. One other thing I like to do anytime I got my truck up in the air is to check the air in the spare tire that's up underneath of it. A lot of times people forget about the spare tire until they need it, and then they have a flat on the side of the road, they drop the spare down, put it on the truck, let the truck down, and damn, the spare's flat too. I've been there before, and that's one of the reasons why I always try to remember to check the air in it. And you know, check just to make sure it's in good shape too. If your spare is tucked up underneath there for years and years and years and never gets used, good chance that it's dry rotted or the rim's rusted out or what have you. So now's a good time just to check it out. You always want to make sure that you hand torque your wheels after you get your vehicle back on the ground. Now, even if I had used my good snap-on pneumatic impact, I would still do this. But especially because I used a cheap electric impact, we definitely need to do this. Alright guys, the wheels are torqued. Now we can put our cheap ass plastic center caps back on. Alright guys, so now we have reached the point of pouring some oil in this thing, and something has occurred to me. I bought 7 quarts of oil, and I'm pretty sure it takes 8. So let's dump in what I have and check it and see if we need to scrounge up another quart or no. Here's another tip for you fellas. Clean out your funnel before you use it. These things lay around in the garage for months at a time and they get all kinds of just grit and dirt and bugs and whatever in them. Stuff you don't want running through your engine. Do yourself a favor, spray it out, wipe it out. It takes 30 seconds and it could save you down the road. If you have one of these trucks with a 5.3 in it, probably a 602, I assume that the valve covers are the same, I don't know. But it's kind of a pain in the ass to find a funnel that will stay in there while you pour the oil in. I've found if I take a small bungee cord and kind of tie up the funnel, it'll hold it in there good enough to keep your hands free while you're dumping the oil in. Here's another tip for you fellas. Get yourself a bucket with a lid. Drill you some holes in the lid that you can stick your funnels down in. This way, after you use one of your funnels, you just stick it in here and all the drips go into the bucket. That way they're not on your floor, on your shelf, whatever. It's a good place to store funnels. It's a good place to catch the extra oil that's always left inside of them and make no mess. Alright, I don't know if you guys can see this or not, but I just checked the oil level and it looks like it's pretty well right in between the marks on the stick. But I haven't started the engine yet. So let's start it up, let it run for a minute, recheck our oil, make sure we don't have any leaks, make sure we got good pressure, all that stuff. And then we'll see if we need to top it off or not. Alright guys, we got 40 pounds of oil pressure, no leaks, and we reset our indicator. So now, let's go back up front, check the level again, and make sure we're good. Yeah. See now, guys, I don't know if you can see that or not. Now we're showing a little low. So I probably got a cord or so laying around here in the garage somewhere. I'll find that and top her off. One thing that my old man always told me was that you keep a little bit of extra oil around the shop because you never know. This is a great example. Thanks, Dad. Now that's where your oil level should be, right halfway between the marks on your dipstick. It's full, ready to go, and we're done with this one. One of the best things that I ever did for my garage was this drum. It's an old race fuel drum that now I pour my used oil in it, and it just makes, you know, one clean, small place to get rid of all my used oil. I used to just put it back in the jugs that it came in, but before you know it, you've got 100 of those things lined up along the wall, and you know, they collect dust and spiders and they take up space, and it's just not a good idea. So get yourself a drum, fill it up. When it gets full, you can get rid of it. In my case, I have a buddy who has a waste oil furnace, and I give it to him. But there are places that you can take this stuff, or people that will come and pick it up. All right, guys, that pretty much wraps it up for the night. I'm going to put my tools away, clean up my mess, and then crack me a cold one. Don't tell my doctor. Catch the end of that ball game, and then hit the sack. Thanks for catching up with me tonight, guys. I appreciate it. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave me a comment. Go to SpeedSyndicateUSA.com, get yourself a hat or a t-shirt. Support the cause here, guys. Thank you so much. It means more than you know.